All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever just had that feeling deep down that there's a huge secret about money that you were just never told? Like a critical piece of the puzzle was just left out of your education. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain on what might be the school system's single biggest secret when it comes to building wealth.
So I really want you to think about this for a second. What's the one lesson about money that school never, ever taught you? And look, I'm not talking about how to balance a checkbook. I'm talking about something way more fundamental, a kind of mental switch that separates the people who work for money their whole lives from those who learn to have money work for them.
And here it is. This is the core idea. The system that most of us grew up in, it's actually brilliantly designed to create employees, not entrepreneurs. Think about it. It teaches us to follow the rules, get good grades, get a good job, and just work reliably inside a system someone else built. But what it doesn't do is teach us how to create the system in the first place.
And all that conditioning, it leads us straight into what you could call the employee mindset trap. And trust me, it's called a trap for a reason. It's super easy to fall into, it feels kind of safe and comfortable, and it's almost impossible to see you're in it when you're already caught.
So, what exactly is this mindset? Well, it's basically a way of thinking that, without you even realizing it, puts a hard ceiling on what's financially possible for you. It's a passive approach where you just accept your money situation as reality. You see it as a fact, not as a problem that needs to be solved.
And this phrase right here, this is its anthem. These are maybe the 4 most financially destructive words you can ever say to yourself. I can't afford it. I mean, just think about how final that sounds. It almost feels responsible, right? Maybe even a little humble. But what it really is a thought killer.
And that's the absolute key. That statement literally closes your mind. The second you say those words, your brain gets the signal, all right, mission aborted, no need to think, no need to problem solve, no need to get creative here, game over. It is a total mental dead end.
But what if there's another way to think? This is where we make what's called the entrepreneurial mindset shift. Now listen, this isn't about telling you to quit your job tomorrow and start some big company. No way. This is about completely rewiring how your brain looks at a financial roadblock.
And this chart just lays out the difference perfectly. The employee mindset says, I can't afford it. It's been trained to avoid risk at all costs. Its whole focus is on working for your money. But the entrepreneurial mindset, it asks the question, how can I afford it? It doesn't run from risk. It learns how to manage risk. And its main goal, to make money work for it.
The biggest difference here is so simple, it's almost crazy. I can't afford it. That's a statement, a full stop, end of the conversation. But how can I afford it? Now that's a question. That's an engine starter. It's the beginning of a whole new journey.
And this isn't just, some feel-good positive thinking. This is a real cognitive tool. Let's actually break down why this one tiny change in language can have such a massive real-world impact on your life.
So yeah, why is asking that one question, how can I afford it, so incredibly powerful? What is actually happening inside your brain when you pivot from that dead-end statement to this open-ended question? Okay, so here's what happens. First, it just engages your brain. It literally flips a switch from that passive, kind of defeated mode into an active, let's solve this mode. Second, it forces you to find creative solutions. Your brain is now on a mission to brainstorm, to think outside the box, to see new angles and strategies you would have totally missed before. And third, this whole process opens up real financial possibilities. It turns what looked like a brick wall into a puzzle that can be solved, showing you paths forward that were basically invisible just a minute ago. So if you're going to take one thing away, it's this. One phrase is a closed and locked door. It just shuts you out. The other is the key that can unlock that very same door. So we've talked about the trap, and we've talked about the key, and now the spotlight turns to you. The question becomes a really personal one. What will you ask? All right, let's just wrap this all up. The employee mindset, the one we're basically trained for, just accepts financial limits as the way things are. But the entrepreneurial mindset, which by the way, anyone can choose to adopt, it actively challenges those same limits. And that whole powerful, life-changing difference, it all starts with just one simple question. And this is the thought I really want to leave you with. The very next time you're faced with something you truly want, but you feel like you can't afford, maybe it's an investment, a new home, a course, what question are you going to ask yourself? Are you going to let your brain shut down with a statement? Or are you going to force it to light up with a question? The choice and all the opportunity that comes with it,
is yours.